In order to get your front and back azimuth, again, you'll need to know your declination of the area. For the area that I'm working in, it's going to be 19 degrees to the west. So knowing that, you want to get your compass set up and go 19 degrees to the west, and I'm going to get it as close as I possibly can. Now you're going to need to orient your map to this. And just like in the other video, get it lined up. And you want to use any of these grid lines and adjust your map so that your arrow is in what I call the house. Now that it's adjusted, you're going to pick your two known points. So what I'm going to use is the gate of Hirundo Wildlife Refuge to the inside locked gate. So you're going to line these two up as best as you can, and you're going to want a nice sharp pencil. The reason for that is if it's a little bit dull, it can throw off the line and you might be going just a hair off from the actual front azimuth or back azimuth that you want to be traveling. Get them lined up. And you want to draw your line past each point. Now that you have your line marked where you're going from your known point to your other known point, you're going to readjust the bezel so that the arrow is inside the house. Get that adjusted. Now that that's adjusted, you're going to be pointing in your direction of the front azimuth. So for this, it's going to be 70 degrees. An easy way to get your back azimuth is if it's below 180 degrees. For example, we're at 70 degrees, you're going to add 180 degrees. If it's above 180 degrees, you're going to subtract 180 degrees. So for this example, like I said, your front is 70 degrees. You can add that 180 and you get 250 degrees, or you can spin it completely around and do it in reverse and get your 250 degrees that way. The next step is to find your distance of how far that you need to travel. On the gazetteer, 1 inch equals 2 miles. I already have my compass marked out so that each one of these is 1 inch long. So looking from the gate to the gate, I luck out and I only have to travel 2 miles as the crow flies at 70 degrees. Now to break this down into the practicality of using a pace count to cover this distance, there's 5,280 feet per mile. So in this distance of 2 miles, it's a total of 10,560, which if you use 100 feet per your pace count, you're going to have to do your pace 106 times to cover that distance. So that's a lot of counting, and the best way to do that would be to have some form of hash system, pace beads, something along those lines that you can keep track of that, because that's a very high number to do. Now that we understand how to go this distance and how to get the distance, I'm going to show you how to do a pace count. The first thing to do when you're getting your pace count is measure a known distance. I like to use 100 feet, that way I can convert it into miles and that makes it easier for me. You want to do it on flat ground, mark a start and an end, and you want to walk naturally. Don't exaggerate your stride, walk how you normally would while traveling. You want to use the same boots that you typically wear if possible. You want to count your paces correctly. Every time the same foot hits the ground, usually your left, count only that foot. For example, left foot hits the ground, 1. Ignore your right foot, left foot hits the ground again, that's number 2. Then you want to do multiple passes, walk the same distance at least 3 times. Average the counts for accuracy.